Sir Mars, naka-mute ka. Sir Marbs, sorry, naka-mute ka po. Ayan.
Hello and welcome back to our show for this Saturday. And I'm sure you're very much excited with our program for this afternoon, this evening. Our Kuwentong HR is back, and I'm sure that you're very much interested with our guests. We have international and local guests in the past episodes. Can you imagine we're already on our ninth episode? So, di ba, sobrang exciting talaga. So this time, we'll talk more about what's happening in the Philippines, and definitely our speaker for today, our guest speaker is sought after in the field of HR. But before we go there, I'd like to first, of course, give a shout out to those who are watching us in Facebook and also in YouTube. Of course, we would like to thank our uh, partner, of course, for this show, Competent Training. Thank you so much for continuously supporting this program, and through you, of course, we are reaching a lot of HR practitioners and HR professionals. Ayan. So let's go to our first segment. And before we go to that segment, we would like, of course, to welcome our co-MC for today, Miss Michelle Morales.
Hello
Hello.
everyone. Hello mga HR professionals for those who are watching us tonight. I'm back. Yeah, thank you so much, friend. This is a very exciting topic, very interesting topic, and the reason why we decided to have this kind of topic because it's very timely. Sobrang kailangan natin to, not only for HR professionals but I think para sa lahat ng mga tao, lahat ng professionals. So hello again everyone, and hope you will learn something no as we go through dito sa ating session for tonight.
Correct. Siyempre, na-miss ka namin, Fred Michelle.
Yes, na-miss ko din yung yung segment natin sa Kwentong HR. Medyo may mga naging hanash lang tayo these past few weeks, no? Pero ngayon, eto na. I'm back.
Yes, of course, of course. So, ano bang mga bago natin here, especially in Metro Manila or in the Philippines? Is there anything else that you would like to share, especially in terms of our, current events and what's happening in the HR community, Miss Michelle?
Actually, ang gusto ko talagang bigyan ng pansin ngayon is yung remember last October 10, we just celebrated the World Mental Health Day, no. Mental health, sabi nga sa ibang articles, no, possible siya maging a crisis if hindi natin siya ma-handle ng maayos. So, mental health from the perspective of say employer, no, each company should really have yung mga mental health programs for the employees. And for the employees naman, it is also important for us to really acknowledge if we are, experiencing challenges, ganyan. And wag tayong mahihiya to seek help sa mga professionals. Okay? So, kailangan natin yun. We have to accept that we really need help from them. So, yun siya. I think yun kasi yung pinaka crisis na talagang rin, no, na not only the pandemic but kumbaga itong mental health, no, ito yung isa sa pinaka-concern ngayon ng lahat ng tao global.
Correct. Definitely, friend Michelle. Especially with what's happening in not only in the Philippines, of course, this is globally. Siyempre si Miss Michelle and the other our co-MCs in the past, they worked also with multinational companies. Kahit sila, no, naapektuhan ng napakadaming nagaganap ngayon sa pandemic. But I think what's really important is that we always talk about how agile HR could be, and you always have to read about, what's something new, including the labor advisories. Kalalabas lang ng labor advisory on the 13th month pay. So I'm sure dahil bare months na at narinig niyo na si Jose Marichan on the radio station. Definitely the 13th month pay, you'll have to educate again your employees because they might be so used to the original computation of the 13th month pay where they were still working full time the whole year round. So just always go back uh, to the labor advisory, and of course the BIR circulars that were out for the 13th month pay. Remember, as an HR, you have to educate our employees that ang kinukumpitan lang po ng 13th month pay is yung pinasok nilang trabaho, meaning the days that they were paid during the year. So that includes the vacation leave and the sick leaves that they have, or any paid leaves that they were able to get, and to enjoy during the year, especially during the lockdown period. So I know a lot of companies are, you have utilized your leave credits for your employees. So that will also be included in the computation. So aside from their physical attendance, whether they are on the site, or they might be on the field, or they are working from home. Ayan. So yung hindi sila nabayaran, they are considered to be no work, no pay, or there might be on a furlough at this time, naka-floating status sila. Hindi po yun mababayaran kasi hindi po yun paid attendance for them. So aside from that, in relation to that, lumabas din po ang DOLE advisory. Sinasabi na hindi na po pwede ding i-extend pa further yung furlough or floating status for employees. So according to the law, you are only allowed to put people on floating status up to a maximum of 6 months. After that, you either have to reinstate them to work, or if they are really can't, wala na silang babalikan na trabaho, or at this time you're still closed, you have to think of other ways because hanggang 6 months lang ang inaalaw ng ating governance or ating batas pagdating sa floating status. Ayan, di ba napakadami nating input today, especially regarding sa mga nangaganap sa ating kapaligiran in terms of HR environment. Ayan. Friend Michelle, meron ka pa bang gustong idagdag aside from the ones that we mentioned? Especially marapit na mag-undas.
Totoo, no? So I think naman din, no? Siguro para kahit pa paano magkaroon din ng balance doon sa work and also doon sa life ng mga employees or tayo mismo, no? Wag natin kakalimutan to have a simple celebration ng mga Halloween, 'di ba? Even though we are working remotely. So yung mga simple joy na pwede nating i-offer sa ating mga employees. So yun yung wag nating kakalimutan. And of course, the pandemic is still present, no? We are still experiencing it. And we have to be very vigilant, no? Yung pa rin yan, patuloy pa rin nating aalagaan yung sarili natin. Let's always follow yung wearing ng face mask, yung mga face shield, yung disinfection. So yun yung kasi sa ibang mga bansa, no, for example in Malaysia, nakaka-experience na sila ng resurgence of COVID. So yun yung ayaw nating mangyari naman sa atin dito sa Pilipinas.
Correct. And definitely make sure if you are watching from another province, not in Metro Manila, make sure that you are, you have established a good relationship or even following the different social media platforms of our government, regional government offices, or your LGUs, local government units. I'm sure, example, you have your platforms such as the PIO, the information office, right? Public information offices of the different regions. So meron dyan sa region 1, 2, 3 hanggang doon sa Apari hanggang Kulo. So make sure that you follow their public information offices kasi yung social social media team of those IATF regional offices are putting also information in those social media platforms. So rather than following people na influencer, you'd rather follow the official Facebook pages or social media pages of those government offices para naman di tayo yung biktima ng fake news. Napakadaming fake news ngayon. So you'd rather want to follow a legitimate and definitely the most trusted, sources of information, that is your PIO, or even the Facebook pages of your mayors or your governors, especially yung mga nasa provinces, because they also provide information, including the IATF advisories in your region. Kasi baka in your area, iba yung pinapatupad na mga um, legislation or iba yung pinapatupad na advisory or memorandum that is unique to your province. So make sure, example, in Metro Manila, baka hindi na hinahanapan ng barangay health certificate, but in Baguio or in Cebu or in Palawan, for you to travel, of course, you have to look at the different websites and the different Facebook pages. Baka there's more than just the barangay health certificate. There could be even a quarantine clearance or even a certificate of recovery for those who had been, part of the COVID cases in the last few months. So with that being said, it means that it's time to talk about our theme for today, our topic, which is the changing the HR mindset. Tama ba, Fred Michelle?
Yes, actually nag-prepare tayo ng mga 100 questions para sa ating guest for tonight, no.
Pwedeng 99 lang.
So very interesting,
of course,
talaga excited ako for our kwentuhan for tonight.
Correct. Yes. So very casually naman ang ating theme, and of course our setup for Kuwentong HR. But of course, hindi ibig sabihin na yung ating resource speaker, friend Michelle, pipitsugin. He has been he has worked or HR for more than 2 decades. I will not reveal the age. He is as young as ever. And of course, his expertise definitely in the field of HR is not limited only to one facet, but also including, in recruitment, in compensation and benefits, especially in training and organization development, and so many others. I was so privileged that, we used to be in part of the same company in the past. But now he is the consulting HR for Nomura Research Institute. Of course, no other than Sir Jun Roy. Ayan.
Ganito daw ang palakpak.
Naman natin, virtually.
Hello, good afternoon. Natuloy din.
So welcome,
Sa
Sir
wakas.
Jun, to our Kuwentong HR. Kamusta ka naman, sir?
Mabuti. The last time we had our session, tagal na noon, ano? Naalala ko, that was last year. We did a program for another one. Tayo ni na Michelle, no?
Early last year. Andun din si Michelle noon.
Oh, yeah. And now we're back together tayong tatlo.
Ayan, so
Good to see you guys.
definitely. Yes. So, Sir
And
Jun,
hello sa lahat ng mga nanonood.
Definitely, please. I was going to say, batiin niyo po ang inyong mga fans.
Fans talaga. Oh, may mga binayaran akong para manood. Joke lang.
Welcome niyo po ay isa sa mga fans ninyo. Kami ni Michelle definitely has been very
Baligtad
privileged that you were part of our sessions in the past when we were still part of the Philippine Nature Group. So we are very happy that you're here in our Kuwentong HR. So let's dive already with our topic. So
Sure.
sa palagay niyo, sir, ano bang mga changes na naganap? At least for your own experience, meron bang changes in the mindset of HR right now, especially na may pandemic?
Oo, malaki. It's really a huge change, Michelle and Marvin. Siguro yung kahit before the pandemic, nandoon na yung yung change in terms of dati ang HR police, admin, tapos centralize yung HR. That means let's say for example, yung training, lahat dapat centralized yan sa HR, ano? So yun yung mga tatlong, even prior to the pandemic, yun talaga yung nagiging parang outdated na mindset. Although may mga companies pa rin, unfortunately, that are still transitioning towards a new mindset. So may mga remnants pa rin of being police, admin, especially pag disciplinary action, o sino ang usually bahala na HR, di ba? So police pa rin yon. And then during this pandemic, natural yung role ng HR nandun sa pinakasentro dahil, di ba, work from home, social distancing, safety, all of those are really HR concerns. Then all of a sudden, paano magiging productive ang mga tao during work from home? So that's an HR concern also. So ang daming nagbago.
I'm sure si friend Michelle excited also to share her thoughts about our topic and would like to ask some questions to Sir June.
Yeah, Michelle.
Totoo. I totally agree with Sir Jun, no. Kumbaga parang pre-pandemic nagkaroon na rin naman talaga ng changes. Yung kumbaga nagkaroon na ng call to change yung mindset nating mga HR professional. And lalo na nung dumating yung pandemic, it really tested okay, up to what limit kaya natin i-change yung mindset natin, 'di ba, Sir Jun? Okay. So given that, ano ba yung mga new thoughts dapat ng mga HR ngayon?
Magandang tanong yan. And in fact, our company, yan ang advocacy namin in promoting that new thought about the role of HR. So Nomura Research Institute is advocating that HR professionals and leaders should help the organization, survive, succeed, and sustain the business growth. So dati ang HR, it's more on the traditional role, compensation and admin, training. Of course may mga OD din, no? Pero yung pinaka-central question sa amin ngayon, which we are helping our clients with, is all right, if you are the HR leader, how do you strategically play your role such that all your programs and your role, you are in the best position to help the company. Yun nga, tatlong S yun. Survive, succeed, and sustain the business growth. So yun ang dapat na pinagkakaabalahan ng mga HR leaders, especially at this point. Because we know, di ba, hindi naman lahat ng companies are winners. Kung may mga winners man during this pandemic, konti lang. Maraming mga struggling, maraming mga losers. So losers in the sense that they're affected financially. So ang question ngayon is, all right, so everyone is struggling. So we see the role of HR as the one who is catalyst into that, no? In helping the organization transform its role into something like that, no? Na paano makaka-survive yung company, paano makaka-succeed and makaka-sustain. So in a practical terms, for example, let's talk about leadership training. Okay, so of course may mga traditional leadership training, pero ang positioning ng leadership training ngayon, how do you build that mindset among leaders so that they themselves can help the company survive, succeed, and sustain? Ano yung competencies ng mga leaders ngayon, especially nowadays in this pandemic, where everybody is struggling, so that their company, or they can help their company towards those 3S, makasurvive, mag-succeed, and then masustain. So that's quite a different mindset, no? When you look at the other programs, so parang ganon. In short, for me and for us at NRI, the role of HR is to help the business survive, succeed, and sustain by repositioning its programs towards that direction. So medyo kakaiba. Kasi while doing that, paano yung mga traditional roles? Hindi naman mawawala yun, di ba, Michelle? Magpe-payroll ka pa rin.
I am actually about to say that, Sir June. Kasi kumbaga parang, HR should really focused on, thinking how to help the organization to survive, succeed, and sustain. And ang question ko ngayon is that, given na hindi natin pwedeng alisin talaga like 100%
Yes,
yung mga
hindi
admin
naman.
tasks, 'di ba po? So paano ba magkakapag-umpisa yung mga HR?
Okay, magandang tanong. So if kunyari na-adopt na natin yung mindset that one of the important role of an HR leader right now is to help the business survive, succeed, and sustain. So we call that yun yung strategic role niya ngayon, ano? So magandang tanong is saan magsisimula? All right. So one for me, it's your own assumptions about things. So baka may mga assumptions ka na contrary to that. So hindi makakatulong yon. The other one is what I call outsighting. Di ba may insight? Outsighting is learning from the outside, learning from your CEO, learning from your finance, learning from the research, reading stuff on how you can play that role. And part of outsighting is also talking and listening to people from different parts of the organization. So that you're not only dependent upon your own assumptions, natututo ka rin sa kanila, and you're able to develop that kind of mindset. Na hindi ka lang taga-process ng payroll, hindi ka lang taga-produce ng programs. Even if you are strategically performing the role of HR, ang question pa rin is, how do you strategically position your program so that your business now will not only survive, not only succeed, but you can sustain that success in a challenging times like this. So medyo mahirap yon. So in short, you start with your own assumptions. And then after that, outsighting, makinig ka sa sinasabi ng iba, magbasa. Talk to the people who can help you. You can talk to your CEO, you can talk to your finance. What are their views about how HR can play that role? So pwedeng itanong yan halimbawa sa mga audience, no? When was the last time that you had a conversation about with your CEO or head of finance or head of operations or head of strategy? And the level of discussion is, it's not really HR as a function, but how the leaders, how the people can help really the company grow at these difficult times. And if they look at the role of HR in that conversation, what do they expect in terms of HR being a strategic partner in helping the company survive, succeed, and sustain? So nagkaroon na ba kayo ng ganong conversations? So if not, my recommendation is start that conversations with the influencers and decision makers in the company. That's where you start. Tama ba, Michelle?
Sir
Ano
Jun,
sa tingin mo?
na-struck ako doon sa oo nga naman, for you to start, you have to check your assumptions.
Yes, oo.
It's like, parang it's like self-awareness, no?
Oo.
Baka
Kasi
mamaya,
tingnan mo ibigyan kita ng example. Sales. Kaninong function ng sales? Siyempre sa sales head, di ba? So yun ang assumption natin. Pero isang assumption na pwedeng i-adapt is, paano ko matutulungan ng head of sales to make its, especially nowadays, to make its salespeople not only, before they can increase the sales, embrace the mindset that it's possible, there's still hope. Mahirap magbenta ngayon in these difficult times, especially kung face-to-face ang selling before, and all of a sudden, papaano yun? Face-to-face dati, and then we are in a social distancing measures. So how can sales achieve their business? So HR people, when was the last time that you had a conversation with your head of sales or whoever is head of generating the revenue to talk about how their people can be more productive, and before they can even be productive, how you can generate or have that belief in them that it's still possible? Or is the conversation always reactive? So pag nag-request si sales head ng training, so doon pa lang papasok si HR. So ganun yung mga old mindset, pag nag-request, then papasok si HR. Pag walang request, then maaaring walang need. So yun ang mga simple practical barometer ko. When was the last time that you had a conversation with your CFO,
Grabe.
CEO, at saka head of sales? That you triggered, ha? And then the conversation, it's really diagnosing, helping out how these people who generates the business can be more proactive, and they don't lose faith in themselves and in the ability of the business to grow. Everyone is struggling, and so for me, that's the key role of every HR leader, to initiate that. What do you think?
Totoo, Sir Jun, no? So parang ngayon, no, hindi talaga pwedeng mahiya na si HR.
Uy, hindi pwede.
Okay, hindi
Oo.
pwede, no? And totoo,
Oo.
I totally agree with
Bawal
you.
mahiyain.
I agree with you, Sir Jun, na yung assumption, kailangan talaga i-check muna natin siya. Labas tayo ng kwarto ng HR, no? Para
Yes.
mas lumawak yung ano, yung understanding natin as to what is really happening in our organization.
Yeah.
So,
Kaya pwede mong lagyan pwede mong lagyan yan, Michelle, ng simple KPI eh. Number of conversations initiated by HR people, HR leaders on that ground. How can we help your department be more productive? Pag CEO, how can we help the business survive, succeed, and sustain? And do you need to be an HR leader to be able to strike that conversation? No. Even if you are an HR specialist or HR assistant, you can actually generate or initiate those conversations within your level. Wala namang
Correct.
nagbabawal, di ba, sa company na bawal. HR assistant, bawal kang makipag-usap sa manager. Bawal kang makipag-usap sa mga kapwa
Correct.
mo, empleyado, to talk about this. So ano yung mga So in short, one of the things that I want our audience to reflect is, what are the stories, what are the conversations that you're having with the people you are interacting with? Is it about the growth of your business? Is it about their belief that still it's possible to grow? Is it about how they can be more productive in these difficult times? Or is it more on the request, payroll, overtime, and so appraisal? Hindi mawawala yon, but we have to elevate the level of conversations towards how the business can really survive, succeed, and sustain.
thank you so much, Sir June. Oh, meron na agad tayong take away. Dito pa lang, first pa lang tayo, face pa lang tayo ng pagtatanong. Wala pa tayo sa
I was
kalahati.
going to say that.
At may actionable points na sila kaagad.
Exactly.
We're
Right?
just starting it
Conversations.
because we have a lot of learnings already.
Totoo. How about you, first? So, thank you, Sir Jun. No? So, as HR, we have to check muna yung assumptions natin, and meron na tayo agad KPI para naman masabi natin na
Yep.
alam mo, na-achieve natin ito.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, friend? Baka meron kang mga questions for Sir Jun.
Si
Yeah,
Marvin pa,
definitely,
madami
no.
yan.
Actually, I totally on the same, I totally align to what Sir June mentioned. And I was thinking while I was listening, that's why I'm not speaking, because I was really internalizing it. And I'm sure all of our audience is also in awe of listening to that. And suddenly it sparked some idea na during the pandemic, or during this time of challenging, period, wherein, very drastic changes is happening around us. Suddenly we have to think about, what kind of HR change mindset that we have to put into. And suddenly it thought to me na yung example ni Surgeon about sales, right? Parang ito yung traditional way of linking yung HR competency na parang ang ko lang naman HR. Where in fact, we have a lot of people in HR. We're really creative, we're really innovative, and they're also very much in tune with what's happening right now. And that leads me to a topic that is about HR business partnering. That it's not enough that you're just limited to what you know in HR, but at the same time, maybe there's something out there. Example, about online selling. For sure, lahat tayo medyo na hook up tayo sa mga online selling during the pandemic kasi tayo makapunta ng mall. And to the point of Sir June about selling, suddenly, the concept of selling face to face had moved to online. So bakit hindi natin, have that conversation as an HR na Why not go also on online selling, or why not also do, something on the social media platform or online platforms? And just example, I used to work for an automotive company. Before, talagang kailangan pumunta ka sa showroom, you have to go there, look at the car, etc. Pero dahil nga may social distancing, and of course you can't go to the physical place. So even the automotive, movers and shakers, they're out there. They're also going to
Yes.
sell their
Oh.
cars, online. So
Tama.
imagine, 'di ba, sobrang
Oo.
change talaga nun. And sometimes it needs some help as well from not just the HR itself, maybe something new. So it doesn't limit us from just thinking of the HR function, but at the same time creating an opportunity for conversations, business partnering, and also maybe even giving data to our stakeholders and our department leaders. These are some data that is happening right now. Why don't you look at it? So I think yun yung sinasabi ni Sir Jun kanina na, don't limit. So I think yung cross-functional business partnership is very important for HR to instigate that. You're not necessarily the one who will put 100% input. Sometimes you just need to start, be the trailblazer that is needed in your company. So going back to
Yeah.
Sir Jun, pagdating sa changing the HR mindset, paano naman sir yung mga traditional na mga functions ng HR? Considering the fact na, example, yung recruitment is still there. Sabi nga ni friend Mitch kanina, you still be doing payroll, 'di ba? How about the other traditional, functions of HR? Syempre, kailangan pa din naman nandun yan. Hindi pwedeng mawala. Ano ba yung mga tips and advice niyo sa mga ka-HR natin out there regarding the way they're going to innovate their own
Alright,
functions at
magandang
this time?
tanong, Marvin. No? Siyempre, hindi naman mawawala yung mga functions na yon. They would still be there. But for me, even if hindi mawala yon, it's the kind of mindset that you put into that function. For example, recruitment. Okay, so you can handle recruitment in a reactive way, which is based on your manpower plan, kung ano yung mga nire-request. But in your mind, are you really clear about what kind of people the business needs in order to really grow? Okay, so kadalasan kasi nasa job descriptions ang mga yan, so that's traditional. But if it is clear to you that these are the kind of competencies, the kind of people that we need to grow our business, so nagiging strategic yung role ng recruitment. Okay? The other one is, what are the pains of the different departments in terms of your process? So do we wait for them to complain or to request before we understand those pain, or do we initiate conversations so that we can understand the pains of the different departments? So in that way, kahit na sabihin nating functional pa rin yon, you are still contributing to the strategic growth in the sense that these people, for example, the salespeople or those in the business development or operations who produce the product, so they're the ones at the front line of generating the business revenue. So what are their needs? What are their pains? Because those needs and those pains, they serve as stumbling blocks for their ability to focus on their job. So by removing those barriers, addressing those pains, you are actually contributing for them to focus on their job. And when they focus on their job, they become more successful in generating more revenue to the company. And so that means that is your contribution. So whether that is payroll, whether that is performance appraisal or performance management, disciplinary action, recruitment. So my basic question is, what are the pains? And the other question that I can ask is, what are the gains or opportunities to enhance further the process that can help the different stakeholders so that they can focus on growing the business? So you may not be in the front line of growing the business because you are not in sales, you are not a revenue generator, but your role is to support those who grow the business, again, by addressing their pains, knowing their pains and addressing those proactively, and then identifying identifying the further gains so that you can enhance further your process. So, babalik ako doon sa basic KPI natin. How many conversations did you have during the last 6 months since the pandemic or even prior to that, wherein you initiate that conversation to understand the pain and to identify the gains in each of these stakeholders. Yung mga may tawag dito parang if you had what we call design thinking, so that's part of what we call empathy. Okay, initiated by HR. So yun, so that's a point for reflection for everyone. You can check, no?
Wow,
So if you're not
talaga.
able to initiate
Friend
that
Michelle.
conversation yet, so this is the best time to proactively initiate that conversation and then try to understand where you can, where your process can play a vital role in supporting the needs of your stakeholders. So that way, you are still contributing to the growth of the business on how it can survive, succeed, and sustain its growth. Ano, did I answer the question?
Yes, definitely. I was already queuing Michelle because
Nakamute
I'm
pala ako.
already awestruck about what you mentioned. Sabi ko, friend Michelle, magtanong ka na.
Actually,
You know,
yung
kasi ang bilis talaga ng time. We're already
Sobra.
2/3 into our program. Imagine, and we're just talking about, the different tips and, different scenarios which Sir June is sharing to us. And already we're almost, 2/3 of our program. So, friend Michelle, I'm sure there must be some more questions even in our audience. We have some questions. Maybe you'd like to share those.
Gusto ko lang muna rin magbigay ng comment doon sa sa nabanggit ni Sir June. One thing that struck me would be helping parang sa understanding ko like helping other team or other department in terms of their processes, which is very important. It doesn't necessarily mean na kailangan alam mo rin kung anong ginagawa nila, but you should know how to, for example, implement yun nga, design thinking and other improvement processes to guide them and help them kung paano naman nila ngayon maaayos yung workflow nila or processes nila. In that way, ikaw ngayon yung nagcha-champion ng process improvement para maging mapadali yung sinasabi natin. Parang in layman's term, mapadali yung buhay nila.
Yes. At mas stress, less stress, di ba? Less hassle.
Totoo. And then, meron tayong one question sa ating Facebook. Ayan, I would like to ask lang po, as you guys are HR, is the job offer of the identified candidate depends on the experience?
Okay, maganda. Medyo, it's not about mindset, but okay. It's a phone-in, ano tawag doon? It's a good question. Depende ba sa experience? So, mayroon po tayong tinitignan na traditional pero tried and tested, and I believe in that, no? So, syempre, it's really about fit. That's the one word there that can guide you, fit. Pero i-divide natin yung fit into tatlo. One is job fit, organization fit, and motivational fit. So job fit that is where experience comes in. So is he competent? Does he have the track record? Kung salesperson yan, nakabenta ba yan or may salesmanship skills yan, no? Kung project manager yan, mayroon na ba siyang background in terms of project manager? Kung organizational fit naman, that means the assumption there is you have core values in the company and you want the candidate to be able to be aligned and fit with that core values. So kung core values ninyo is innovation, for example, so yung employee ba ay may track record or mayroon ba siyang mindset of being innovative, which is, by the way, is one important mindset of HR professional or of anybody at this stage, no? Motivational fit naman, kumusta yung level of motivation niya to succeed and how aggressive he is to pursue higher level of achievements, no? And you can look at the track record. So, keyword, fit. Hatiin natin again sa tatlo, job fit. Kaya ba niyang gawin yung trabaho? organizational fit, align ba siya sa kultura ng company? Motivational fit is kumusta yung kanyang motivation, level of energy in not only doing the job but in succeeding to his role. Yon.
That's true. Very another insight na naman ito from Sir Jun, no? So sa atin as HR, no, it's very important for us pagdating sa recruitment and selection, no, to again, no, change our mindset. Pag sinabi mong job fit, ano ba yon? We have to explain. We have to learn how to explain. Especially sa mga candidates na paano natin nasabi na fit siya for the role. Okay. So, ayan, meron tayong tatlo na dapat titignan na share nga ni Sir Jun.
Yes.
Thank you again for that, Sir Jun. Ikaw ba, friend Mars, baka meron ka pang question for Sir Jun? Nag-jot down ako, medyo nakaka 2 page na ako, Sir Jun, no? Medyo. 2 pages na yun na ano ko na.
Kung wala kayong tanong, ako ang magpapatanong.
Ako nga, nagja-jot down ako sa phone.
So,
sobrang dami talaga nating natututunan kay Sir Jun. And of course, tayo din, no, friend Michelle, kahit na nasa HR community na rin daw tayo at nagpa-practice, meron pa rin talaga tayong makukuha from all of our speakers, every tools we have here. And sobrang bilis talaga ng mga episodes natin, and sobrang thankful tayo kay Sir Jun kasi nandito siya sa ating 9th episode, which is about changing the HR mindset. Of course, we would like to first shout out to our mga nanonood. We have Miss Chriselle Baso Castillo. Thank you. Melchizedek Agoho Manito. Of course, we have our perpetual friends, of course. Paul in Vietnam. Hello, Paul Espinas. And of course, our friends from Computan. Mike, Nuke, hello. Kayo, Sir Jun, baka may gusto kayong batiin. Our Facebook program is also...
Oh, all right. So, hello everyone.
Not only in the Facebook
fans
page of
and
the ASEAN HR Leader.
Aking hairstylist.
Hello din
so
po sa
tanong.
Ako yung may tanong ngayon.
Pages din.
Ako yung may tanong.
Kinabahan ako bigla.
And the audience can type something. Okay, quick lang, less than 1 minute. So in short, since we're talking about the new HR mindset, ano yung mga importanteng bagong mindset ng isang HR? Yan, sasagutin ko din yan, but let's give our audience 30 seconds to less than 1 minute. Ano yung mga mindset na yon? Okay. Yung kanina, given na yon, ang ibinigay ko is strategic mindset of being able to help the business survive, succeed, and sustain. Maliban sa pagiging strategic, ano pa ba yung mga iba't ibang mindset ng HR na importante na ma-adapt sa ngayon? Sige nga. Ibahin natin, 30 seconds lang. Tignan natin kung may... type in your questions, your answers. Tignan natin. Whether sa chat or sa Facebook Live, ano kaya yung mga iba't ibang mindsets na lilitaw? And then I'll share my own.
So while we are waiting, hello Sir Darwin. He's watching.
Darwin here.
Opo.
Yes.
Wow. Coach.
Sir Darwin.
Idol.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Si Coach Darwin. Ayun. May mga sagot na ba?
Yes.
Ask natin si Mike. Mike, meron na bang mga sagot sa ating...
Sige, i-compare natin yung mga sagot nila dito sa sasabihin ko, no? So this would serve as a synopsis of our topic. Ano ba yung mga new HR mindset, no? Biglang may tricycle na dumaan no? So one is strategic mindset, and the other one is agile mindset. So pag sinabi nating agile, mabilis, flexible.
Unahan ako ni Sir Jun.
Yun, may na pala, no? So i-compare na lang natin. The other one is
naunahan ako ni Sir Jun, sasabihin ko sana yung agile mindset.
Kakambal ng agile, yung innovation mindset. You're always looking for opportunities to innovate, and you can start that doon sa sinabi ko kanina by listening to your stakeholders, your internal clients, empathizing with them. Ano ba yung mga pains and what are the gains? So innovation mindset yon. And may KPI ako doon, madali. How many conversations that you had with anyone to talk about innovation? Madaling i-measure, di ba? Mayroon din akong isa pang measure doon, how many innovative ideas that you came out with? Or how many innovative ideas that you influence or encourage the other to think. Ibig sabihin, you are proud to say that even if that idea came from Michelle, I am the one who influenced Michelle or encouraged Michelle or opened her eyes to think of that innovative idea. Yeah, madaling sukatin yan. So HR people, look at that KPI for yourself and for your people. How many innovative ideas got identified because of your influence? Yung isa naman is data-driven mindset. And of course, NRI, my company being R is in research, so we are heavy and strong in data science. So we believe in the power of data in solving problems. So it's important that HR people adopt HR mindset. So may KPI ako dito, simple lang. Para practical, ilan yung mga nanditong HR, not necessarily in your department, yung kayo mismo lang, no, in your role. Yung mayroon kayong dashboard na tinitignan that every day you know what is happening in your HR. Mayroon kayong analytics na tinitignan. And how many problems that you have solved in HR that you have used data. Yon. So the other one is of course technology mindset. How many innovations that were enabled by technology? So for me, those are the critical mindsets of every HR person today and in the future. Strategic, agile, innovation, risk-based, data-driven technology. If there are other mindsets out there, I'd like also to learn and know from our audience. Saka hindi galing sa libro yan, galing sa practical experience po natin. At galing sa research ng company. Yun.
While waiting, siguro ikaw ba, friend, na meron ka bang bukod sa naunahan ka ni Sir June doon sa Agile
Oo nga eh.
So, sorry.
Actually, sobrang sobrang mesmerize and nakaka-inspire talaga yung experience ni Sir Jun, kasi sabi nga niya hindi lang ito mga principles na nababasa sa libro, hindi na ito mga theoretical na mga ideas that you get to do only from people na nag-research. Talagang practice. Sabi nga ni Sir Jesse Robosillo,
wow, nandyan si Sir Jesse.
Former PIMA president, sabi nga magkaiba daw yung practice versus sa profession. Kasi yung nagpa-practice talaga daw is that, maaaring yung company mo is different from a different industry. Pero yung understanding mo of the principles and the theories is up to you on how you're going to utilize it and you're going to personalize it in that company. So, hindi siya parang hit everywhere. You have to also think, sabi nga ni Sir, yung data-driven mindset. So, yes, you know the data, pero it's up to you on how you're going to use it and be practical about it. So naisip ko bigla tuloy kasi yung Lean Management Alliance of the Philippines, is preparing for the industrialization 4.0. Sabihin, we're on the fourth industrial revolution. So even in HR,
that's your advocacy, Marvin, di ba?
Sige, Sir Jun.
Advocacy mo yun, naalala ko lang, 4.0.
Yes, that's my advocacy. So sinasabi natin na dapat daw yung mga HR dapat maging 4.0 specialist kasi this parang part ng HR is definitely to integrate and also to incorporate, and lastly is to collaborate. So meaning that you should also understand how to use other types of process improvement processes such as Lean Six Sigma, sabi nga natin Lean Management, yung Gemba. These are, industrialized principles that is being used in other types of industries, pero HR can actually utilize them as well. Pero it's up to us to make it personalized to our needs as an HR. Example na lang, di ba? Sabihin natin, bang pwedeng gawin ng mga Lean Sigma na yan, hindi naman tayo manufacturing, hindi naman tayo assembly line. But if you're going to look at it, example, sa strategy planning, di ba, in terms of budget, in terms of the trainings that you're going to put next year, So hindi na siya pwedeng parang physical face-to-face training. But now you still need to do budgeting, you still need to do planning, pero you have to look at, what avenues can use in terms of social media, in terms of online platforms. So you still need to get subscription, example, yung StreamYard, Zoom, and so many other, Google, whatever. So still you might be still using data and information that you can streamline,
Tama.
you can still save some money, and definitely cost efficiency and training efficacy. So those are the different things. O, di ba meron din akong ganong moment.
Wow. Siyempre naman.
That's true.
Kasi
That's
syempre,
true.
HR, tayo dapat nag-evolve tayo. Sabi nga,
Ayun. Marvin, you hit the nail there.
sabi nga,
Yung one word na yan,
sabi nga ng
evolve,
LMAP,
di
we
ba?
have to evolve. Di ba?
Yun.
We have to evolve. So HR should not be stuck in the traditional way of thinking. O, di ba? Nabalik natin kay Sir Jun yun. HR mindset.
And I like what Marvin said. That keyword, the evolve. I
Evolve.
think that summarizes and captures the different thoughts about the mindset, no? Kasi hindi mo ma-adapt yung mindset na yon if you don't have that ability to evolve and that intention to evolve. Then babalik din ako sa sinabi ko kanina about challenging your own assumptions kasi mahirapan kang mag-evolve. And the most important thing for me is, and this is for me one of the possible failures and the one thing that you might you want to look out is if you are an expert already or you have reached a certain stage, like in my case, 25 years in the business, being a head of HR of different companies, work here and abroad. So nandoon na yung experience, di ba? But that can also be your own liability. So one ingredient for me for you to adopt mindset is humility. Yeah, that you don't know everything. The more you know, the more you become aware that there's still so much to know out there, and that you can learn from the younger people. Those who are down below you in terms of rank, you can learn a lot from them. And so if you have that humility, you can evolve and you can embrace those mindsets, and then you can be in the right position to influence the business leaders, your leaders, on how they can strategically play their role. So in that way, you can help the business survive, succeed, and sustain.
Grabe, napaka-inspiring talaga ni Sir Jun. Friend
Question,
Michelle.
ilang beses kong ginamit na yung word na survive, succeed, and sustain. Hindi ko na mabilang,
Naku, hindi ko na rin mabilang, Sir Jun.
That's our advocacy kasi sa Nomura Research Institute. We take our role as consultants to really help HR and leaders, because we are not only HR consulting, we are also, business consulting. We are a fintech company. So it's really what we have in mind. How do we help our leaders now, especially HR, on how they can help their company also survive, succeed, and sustain? Palagi nang binabanggit.
Yes,
Yun.
sir. Meron lang nag-share, sa banggitin lang natin, from Chriselle Basco Castillo. So, agree din siya doon sa agile mindset. No? Ang nabanggit niya naman dito, very specific agile talent strategies. And na-mention niya rin na yung design thinking. Oh, magka-match, Sir Jun. Na-prove natin. Correct. And for me naman siguro, in terms of the mindset, one thing that I realized na based din sa nangyari sa yung experience ko because nga nagkaroon ng pandemic is it is very important for us HR to be very, future proof.
Oh, yes.
We really have to anticipate things, no? And before natin magawa kasi yun, babalikan ko na naman yung sa agile process improvement. We have to document ano ba yung processes natin para mas maging mabilis sa atin to innovate. Para mas madali, maging madali sa atin to improve. Kasi meron ng existing. Mas mahihirapan tayo if wala. Okay? And then, that would help you to anticipate ano yung pwedeng mangyari.
Oh, yes.
Okay? So, yun. My God, friend, parang kulang yung time natin.
Nako, Friend Michelle. I was going to say,
Di
sobrang
ba,
kulang
hanggang
ng
bukas
time, and
ito,
yet parang feeling ko we're just still starting the program.
7 a.m., di ba?
Pero before that, before we ask Sir June for his last, messages, tips, and advice, I'd like to first say hi to our friend Michelle. Si D Ancot is, watching us from Dasmariñas, Cavite. Hello, D. Hello. We miss you. And also Z Marcos, hello for watching. And everybody else na hindi namin makita yung pangalan dito sa Zoom. Hello sa inyo, and I hope you continue to watch and be part of the ASEAN HR Leader Circle Facebook page, because we have, three very big people in terms of the HR community who is a member of the Facebook page of the ASEAN HR Leader Circle. One of them is Dr. Bill Roswell. He is actually promoting some of his programs and webinars there. So sobrang kilala siya, one of the mega gurus in HR. And of course, we have Ron Thomas, who had been our previous guest speaker here at
Wow,
the
big name.
Kuwentong HR. O, di ba? Sobrang, ang gagaling ng mga tao doon. So, aside from that, we also have our ASEAN leaders as well, who are part of the Facebook page and continue to be part of that. And shout out to the Bicol University, who had been just recently part of the Facebook page. Ayan, friend Michelle. O, di ba?
Very
So,
nakakatuwa.
tanungin na natin si Sir Jun ng kanya. Pwede natin siyang tanungin ang last tips and advices before we close our Kwentong HR again sa mga ating ka-HR. Sir Jun.
All right. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. I enjoyed our kwentuhan conversations, and I'm also thankful that I'm able to share our thoughts based on my experiences to our audience right now. So just to summarize, it's important that HR people embrace the new mindset based on what is needed by the challenging times. And for that to be able to succeed, it's important that we remain humble despite our stature rank. There's so much to learn out there. We find ourselves that in certain situations, our expertise is wiped out by the social distancing. So imagine a situation where you have that speaking prowess in face-to-face, and then all of a sudden you have to become a virtual speaker, and you find that territory unfamiliar. So if you are not humble enough to admit that you are not yet as good as you were, then you will not be as effective as when you were effective in the previous one. So that for me is one example of how we exercise our humility. And then I'd like to connect that to what Marvin said about evolve. So when you have that humility, then you can embrace the right mindset of being strategic business partner, agile, about being ano yung mga kon natin, being agile, being strategic business partner,
Innovation.
and being innovative, those kind of important mindsets. And then, so when you embrace those, because of your humility, you continually evolve. So you're able to embrace those mindsets. And then you are now in a position to influence people, peers, regardless of your rank, for them to become more capable in terms of helping the business survive, succeed, and sustain. So in short, what are you doing in terms of helping your business survive, succeed, and sustain? So that is a question that I'd like to plant in the minds of everyone, of our audience, so that you can reflect on a lot of opportunities out there that you can do as an HR person. And believe me, there's so much that you can do at this point. Just simply by listening to them about their pains and what gains you can still influence them with your processes, that is already a good starting point. So go out there, start the conversations about how the business can grow, how their departments can be more successful. with your help. Together, we can influence our organizations. And if you look at that, if every HR practitioners are influencing their organizations, the leaders, so look at the impact of that in our economy and look at the impact of that in our society. Malaki. And so we at NRI truly believe in the power of HR in bringing that change, that transformation in the business. But we have to start with ourselves. All right. Thank you very much again, Marvy and Michelle, and
Wow.
the
Ang galing
Asian
tal-
HR leaders for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Sir June. So, napakagandang napakagandang
Thank you.
tanong na iiwanan natin para sa ating mga audience and sa lahat ng HR, no, what are you doing in helping your business to survive, to succeed and sustain? So, meron pa namang Sunday para mapag-isipan natin. Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much, Sir June.
Welcome.
Sobrang daming learnings talaga na sobrang kulang yung oras, pero sobrang thank you po sa sa mga na-share ninyo na experiences, itong mga kumbaga experience based tips na binigay po ninyo.
My pleasure.
Correct. Ikaw, friend
Ulitin.
Michelle, I'm sure you have some things that you would like to share as last tip to our Kuwentong HR, ka-HR out there.
Actually, parang mas gusto ko iwan na lang muna itong question ni Sir June. Kasi parang question din siya for me. I mean, it's an eye-opener. This,
Correct. Oo, parang
yes,
everybody.
totoo. So this is an eye-opener for me din to really think about, ano nga ba? Parang feeling ko kasi busy-busy ko, pero would this something lead, ito bang mga ginagawa ko is something that would really contribute doon sa company namin. Okay, so parang wala ako sa position ngayon, to be very honest, to share yung pinaka insights ko because I want to carry this question to myself din.
Ay, grabe.
Pabaon.
Okay.
Pabaon.
Very reflective ka ngayon, friend Mitch.
Alam mo yan, ang tagal kong nawala eh.
Pero I like your format Okay to na kwentuhan lang.
So, of course,
batuhan ng ideas.
Yes. Correct. Oo. So, actually, we were inspired by Chadeli. and Sir Ray Langit. But anyway, kidding aside, definitely marami pong mga HR out there ka-HR who really needs these kwentos, and hindi lang siya basta kwento because these are real experiences of our experts. And of course, friend Michelle will definitely agree that during the past episodes, we were really gotten, so close, and we're able to really get a lot of learnings from our resource speakers and our guests, just like today, Sir Jun Roy of Nomura Research Institute, which leaves me with one idea. Sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, evolve. Pero to close our program, mga ka-HR out there, is really thinking about, it's not just evolution. You cannot evolve if you're not relevant to the times. So being relevant is to really think about, ito yung mindset na dapat. We should have a mindset of thinking of how to learn, and sometimes how to unlearn some of the things that we already know, and sometimes we need to relearn some of those things that we already knew in the past but we forgot. So that kind of mindset will really help us. Ayan, so tapos na naman ang another episode, and of course we would like to thank Sir Jun Roy of Nomura Research Institute. Maraming salamat po.
Always a pleasure.
Training. Yeah. Maraming salamat sa always being a partner with us. And of course, we have another episode 2 weeks from now. We have another international speaker. Watch out for that. And for the meantime, go to the Facebook page of Competent Training. They do have their trainings available online. Of course, Mike and Nook is there. And Nook also has his own shows in there. And of course, go to ASEAN HR Leaders Circle Philippines. Be a part of that because the ASEAN leaders who are not just in HR, they're sharing a lot of their thoughts, their articles and webinars as well, that you can really get a lot of learnings from. So with that being said, maraming salamat na naman, friend Michelle. Another Kuwentong HR has been finished. So maraming salamat and we'll see you again sa
Kuwentong
Kuwentong
HR!
HR.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you and we'll see you again. Thank you, Sir June. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sir June. Friend Mitch, bye. I have another. I have
Bye,
another
friend.
show.
Thank you. Bye, friend.
Bye.
Mike!
Welcome back! Off na. Hindi na tayo ano.
Recording pa.
Hindi na. Ay, ito na lang pala.